All right. It was like drinking from a fire hose on how to have your best year, the mixtape with Brendan Bouchard, Trevor Moawad, Annika Harris, Jocko Willink, Jay Shetty, and then finishing up with Les Brown. This morning, let's go ahead and open the conversation with Chad. Chad, what did you have written down? I know it's like writing as fast as you possibly can to try and keep up because it just went from good to great to greater to greatest. I mean, and then they end with Les Brown. So, I mean, that was incredible.
Man, I'm just like imagining, this guy going through probably 50 or 100 interviews and pulling the best parts of six. And here's what we got today. So all incredible people, all absolutely amazing. So some of the things that stuck out for me was number one, and I saw in the chat, Yvette she'd mentioned this right away, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks because I'm a big, vision, picturing my own funeral. What are people saying there? That kind of thing. And I loved how he narrowed it down to, what Brandon Burchard said was, I happy with my life? Did I live? So many people breathe, but they aren't really living. They're just surviving. There's a big difference between living and surviving. He said, did I live? Did I love? And did I matter? If we're producing, we feel like we matter, we feel like we have something to offer, then we're so much more valuable to those around us. We're not just in a survival mode, we're in a giving mode, we're in a legacy mode, we're in a leave it behind to make other people's lives better mode. And I think those are such important questions. So that was the first thing. The second thing, and this is, we've talked about this a few times, it's so huge, is we're going to have thoughts. We're going to have negative thoughts. It's normal to have negative thoughts, but for the love of God, don't let those thoughts escape out of your mouth if they're negative. Why? Man, if you say it out loud, it's 10 times more powerful. Those negative thoughts will destroy things when they come out of our mouths faster than anything else. And they're 4 to 6 times more powerful than positive thoughts. So if you have positive thoughts and you're speaking positive things, that one negative thought, I think he said, could be 40 to 60 times or 40 to 70 times more powerful by letting those words escape. So we have to not only take every thought captive, but we have to guard our tongue. We have to be careful not to speak things. And we probably all, if we do an inventory of our lives, we probably all can think of times that we've spoke things into existence that were just negative seeds. Then we look down months, years, we go, oh my gosh, it all started when I said that, or when someone else said it to me and it got in and it started, I think of the Earl, or not Earl Shoaf, but The Strangest Secret in the World, Earl Nightingale. Go back, if some of you listen to that, it's like 45 minutes long, and it really breaks this concept down of speaking positive thoughts, or negative, positive things or negative things. Go and listen to that, because it really breaks it down. And after you listen to that, you'll be so careful to not let anything escape out of your mouth that's negative. And if we're not thinking about it, if we're not aware of it, it just happens, doesn't it? We'll be think about how many of us grew up and we have low self-esteem because maybe our parents said, you're not going to amount to anything. I mean, come on, that is a powerful, powerful spoken word that can do so much damage for so many years. So let's not let those things come out of our mouth, because we actually get to control what we allow to come out of our mouth. And out of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if we're speaking things that we know is hurting others, we have to go back and we have to take inventory, and we have to make some corrections to our own heart, and make some changes and figure that out. So that was so powerful. Asking questions, Jocko, I love that. I love it. And this guys is so huge in our business, because the temptation sometimes is to take the shortcut and have a member on our team and just tell them exactly what to do and say, hey, you do this. And then make them dependent on you, where they sign a customer, they sign a distributor, and they're reaching out to you and saying, what do I do? Where do I put this distributor? Where do I put this customer? It's easy to look at their chart and go, do this, do this, do this. The better thing to do, like Jocko says, ask questions. What do you think? Where do you think this new distributor should go? What do you think you should do with this new customer? Allow them, because I promise you, your goal should be to get to a place where your new team member doesn't need you. It feels good to be needed and someone have to reach out to you, and it feels good. But long term, you don't want that. Long term, you want someone who is independent of you. And that way, if you're sick for 2 weeks or you decide to go on vacation to an island where there's no Wi-Fi, the whole team, you're not the choke point in your team. You're not the bottleneck. They can work independently outside of you. You can go on vacation and come back and your team grew because you've developed leaders that can operate outside of you. So this is hard too. If you're a red personality, if you're a driver and you like to be in control, your temptation might be to issue out commands and say, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. But long term, that's not what you want in your business. So manipulation, the Jocko, manipulation versus truth, this is huge too, because a lot of it comes from heart motive. Our heart motive. Some people, I want you to do these things because it helps me out. That's a negative heart motive. And I promise you that time either promotes or exposes people. So if we're manipulating people and we're using people and it's just about us, it'll expose itself over time. People will, you eventually won't pass the sniff test and they'll be like, well, I don't think they're really here to help me. They might be saying lip service, but their actions show they're not. And so he said, both are trying to get you to do something. Leadership is, in the military, we said military leadership is getting someone to do something they wouldn't have done if you wouldn't have been there. And so that's just that little nudge. And it looks similar to manipulation, but again, it's the heart motive behind it. And like he said, am I trying to get you to do something that's just going to benefit me? Or am I trying to get you to do something that's going to benefit you, the team, and the mission? And I thought that was so powerful. The Jay Shetty, I love when he's talking about cleaning the monastery, like cleaning our bathroom. Man, if we looked at cleaning our bathroom like we're cleaning our own heart, talk about excellence. That's excellent. I just jotted down here, I realized recently that, we have different investments in life. And I'm like, man, my wife is my greatest investment to be careful with her heart and invest. And, you can always look at what's important to someone. If you look at their time, their talent, their treasure, what is someone spending their time? It's like if you wanted to know what a church is really for, you could just get into their finances and you could say, here's where the money's going. We can get in our own bank accounts and see what's most important to us. We go look in our own bank accounts and say, oh, wow, I spend so much money on this. That's what's most important to me because I'm spending most of my money on this. So time, talent, treasure. Seek the love and beauty in what you have right now. I love that. That was something Jay Shetty said that really stuck out to me. And then last, I'll say is this Les Brown, who I love Les Brown. We're all born unique, but most die as copies. Wow, that hit me like a ton of bricks. He says he speaks to change lives, and I'll end with what he didn't say it tonight, but I love when he says, Simba, you are more than who you have become. And all of you listening right now, you are more. You have the potential to become more than what you have become so far. And if that doesn't get you up early and keep you up late at night, it should, because your best life is ahead of you and you're on your way because you're here right now. So thank you, Joel, for, again, bringing the boom, man. I'm like, where do you find these things? I'm like, he's up at 2 a.m, like scouring the internet and just brings the boom every single time. So thank you so much for this one today, man. It's great.
Yeah, I just have them all hiding in my pocket. That's pretty much it. All right, Tay, your turn. Take it over.
Yeah, man, just so much. Just awesome. I love when he told the story of when he had this accident and he said he decided to change. And he said it's funny how when you decide to change, people notice it. And I love that because it's not just something that, you see within the inside. It's almost like your whole posture, your whole attitude shift, and people can see that within you. So I love that. And one thing I wrote down that I think I love that he says is like he wake up every day with super clear intentions. And then he also went in not just the intentions, because we know intentions without actions leads to nothing. And he talked about the actions, the things that he do every single day. And I love how he got so specific in that when he decided to change, the areas that he wanted to change in, and how he said for the last 23 years, he's read a book a week in those areas. So I love that. And that just shows you, and it gives us a perfect example of what it means to have those super clear intentions and stick to it. And one thing that he wrote down that he said as well, he said, do the next thing. And what I wrote down is something I heard from Kelly Brown, and I just thought it was amazing. I love quotes anyway. And she said, do the next right thing. I think many times we all get caught up in trying to do everything. And sometimes we forget to do like the main thing. Like every single day with building your business, you know the next right thing to do. Your KPI list, it shows you that. So make sure you're doing the right things. And as you continue to do the right things consistently over time, then you're going to see those compounding results from that. Then go to Trevor, who's probably my number one guy, and to Joe, just kind of opened up my mind to somebody totally different. So I love when he said negative thinking works. And we know that because we see people, and as soon as they come around, we're like, oh, I want to be around this person today, because negative thinking, they don't just think it, but they actually say it, and we feel it. So I love that. And then I love, he said, what I wrote down was a negative attitude never makes positive improvements. So I love the fact that like you literally, and he always talks about Russell Wilson because that's who he worked with. And like Russell, for me, watching him, I know it's football, but like he just separates himself when he's on the football. Like no matter what type of game you're playing, you're like, this dude is not gonna come back from this. But you look at like his attitude never changes. He's always in this state of mind that, you know, regardless of what happened before, the power is what I do next. And I think we have that same attitude with our business, with our life, whatever's going on. Like the magic is in the moment. Your next step is going to be your best step because it's leading you in the path that you want to go. So I think many times we just have to stay in the moment and don't get caught up in what's going to happen in the future, and don't get caught up in what happened in the past. And I think as we do that, then we will continue to move forward in a way that benefits us. And one thing else I wanted to share that Trevor said is, he said, form great behaviors, great habits, and a great mindset. That is the foundation of what's going to keep you going in the direction that you want to go. If you got those three things in line, then no matter what life throws at you, you have that to build on, and it's not going to shake you from that. And then just go to Jocko. And I love that he talked about the manipulation versus leadership. And I think that's so important with our business because we're leading all the time. And it can be easily to manipulate people to do what we want them to do in that minute so we can get that promotion or we can get that bonus or whatever the case may be. And I love how he said they're similar, but manipulation is it benefits me. Leadership benefits you and the group. So I think we have to have that mindset, like when we're building our business. What I have, like I said, I love quotes, and I heard this one quote that says, "Don't rush what you want to last forever." Don't don't try to build somebody to diamond who have a Ruby mindset. Like that person is probably gonna crash if you do all the work and don't allow them to do it. So lead, like he said, like lead people to the solution, ask the questions, do everything so they can actually put in the work and build that confidence within themselves, that when you do let them off the leash, then they're able to like continue to do that for themselves. And then just the last thing that I'll share, and I just love this. I love Les. He's probably one of my all-time favorites because his attitude, and also just because he just has fun with it. And you know from listening to Les, like he loves what he does. And I love it. And I love when he said, expose yourself to something that will give you a different vision of yourself. Like that's why I love showing up to these Zooms, because we get on and Joe just bring on people I've never heard of, and there's just so many different topics and so many things that I haven't thought about, and I listen to it and it's like, oh wow, I never saw it from this perspective. And it's almost like always keeping an open mind and getting into somebody else's box and learning new ways of doing things and new ways to tweak what it is and who it is that you are, so that you can be more effective in leading yourself. So I love that he said that, and also I love he said surround yourself with only quality people, because for me, understand, like, you don't want to be the smartest person in your group. You don't want to be the smartest person who you hang around, because if you are, then you're going to be the cap. So for me, I try to stay around people, not just physically, but who I'm listening to. I try to always listen to people who can lead me up, because if I'm always leading down, that means I'm not growing in the direction that I know I'm supposed to be going. So I try to listen to more people and just get into different boxes so I continue to increase my leadership and just increase myself in wisdom, and also be able to share that with other people as well. So just so much good here today, Joe. And I thank you. Like Chad said, I don't know where you find this from. I scour the YouTube and I don't find any things. You always seem to come up with it, man. So just thank you for sharing this, because it definitely hit home in so many places. And I think it added a lot of value to all of us as well.
So good. Thanks. You guys are amazing. If this was just me, it wouldn't be as cool. I mean, that's the thing. You guys bring the heat. I just bring the conversation. Then you guys take the conversation to that whole nother level. And then I'm stuck here trying to figure out what to say after you guys say all the awesome stuff. So, I guess I'll start with Brendan Bouchard since that was the first conversation. Chad already said it, but this was my favorite part too. These are things that you should be saying to yourself all the time. Did I live? Did I love? And did I matter? But say it in the present. Do I live? Do I love? And do I matter? Because you want to make sure that you're doing that. He followed that up with saying, live each day intentionally. That's what it caused. His tragedy caused him to realize he needs to start living each day intentionally. And he said, well, how do you sustain it? And he said, well, some people are going to go and some people are going to grow. And so the way that you sustain it is you continually grow. You continually read. He said, read. That is how you grow. Show up to these trainings so that you can grow. Then, Trevor Maude, who we talked about quite a bit because just his whole mindset of neutral thinking, it just is a game changer. He said, thinking positive is only part of the solution because you have to think positive so that you speak positive. Because when you speak positive, when you speak something out loud, it becomes 10 times more powerful than just thinking it. And because negativity has a 4 to 7 times greater, the more that you speak positive, the more that you have to cancel out the negative that happens, because we all are pre-programmed for protecting ourselves, which means we automatically look for the negative so that we protect ourselves. That is a human instinct, survival. So we have to be intentional about speaking positive things out there, but then take it one step further. You can't just think positive and speak positive. You have to go out and do positive. That's the final step, is the doing portion of it. The sneaky one in there was Annika Harris, because she was just a green upon green upon green of data and information that, if you can't grasp it, it just slips right through you. So the thing that she was talking about is what I just said. Our bodies work on autopilot against us. And you have to become aware of that. Ed Milet talks about it all the time. He calls it the reticular activating system. It is a part of your body that does things naturally, just like the protection mode. It does things to protect you. It is predispositioned to look out for the bad. Your body is programmed for that. So what he said is the most successful people discover that. They discover their reticular activating system, which is actually something that's based in the lower part of your brainstem. And it's basically your easiest way I can explain it is the red car syndrome. So, when you have a blue car, all you see is blue cars. You've never seen a red car before. And then you go out and you buy a specific red car because you're like, this is amazing. I've never seen this car before. And the moment you drive off that dealership on the way home, you see 30 different red cars just like yours that you had never seen before. That is your reticular activating system in action. And the good news is it's programmable. You can program yourself, you can program your autopilot towards the positive, but you have to actively be aware that it's there and use it to your advantage. Which now we come to Jocko Willink, which, Jocko is just unbelievable. If you haven't listened to him speak, go look him up and watch some of his talks. They're absolutely amazing. Asking questions. Going back to the manipulating versus leading, basically saying we need to ask questions. So when it comes to telling people to do the steps to success, it's not just telling them to do the steps to success. We want to give everybody everything that they need in order to be successful in this business. So we tend to tell everybody how to do everything instead of just giving them a piece and then them coming and asking us questions. And then we return the questions. Like Chad was saying, well, how are you going to get your steps to success done? Okay, well, we know the answer is you're going to expand your network. You're going to do host to post. You're going to do your KPIs. We've made the system in place, but within that system, we've given you the ability to do things specific to you. So ask questions to help people get to the solution. You know, when building your ruby, building your emerald, building your diamond, you know, we know how to get there with the chart, but the question is how are you going to do this? When somebody brings somebody and says, hey, where should I put this person on my team? What should I do with this? You know, where am I going? You ask them the questions. What do you think? And then you play this is what I would do, and here is why. That is how you lead. Manipulation is when you're just telling people what to do because it benefits you. And it doesn't take long for that to get figured out, especially in this business, because this business, the results are transparent. So it may go on for a little while, but then all of a sudden it catches up and everybody sees what's actually going on. And it's that person is actually managing and manipulating versus leading and helping their team. Guys, make it a point and a decision today that you're going to go out and help people, which comes to this next conversation with Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty is amazing when it comes to these kind of thought processes. Have you assigned feelings and emotions to what you are doing? Guys, I can't explain to you how huge that is. If you're just feeling like you're going through the motions, that's because you don't have any emotion in your motions. You haven't assigned feelings to it. You don't have excitement. And the easiest way to get excitement is to help somebody new because they bring new energy and new life. So how do you sustain an amazing business for 12 years and it works? You consistently look to help somebody new every single day. And every single week, you'll have somebody new join your team that has new excitement, new blood, new ideas, new conversations. That gets you and keeps you excited. He said, take those feelings and emotions and apply them to small areas and then compound them into the bigger areas. This allows you to take all of those things that you think will work and try them in a small area until you find what works for you. And then you expand it across areas of your life, not just one specific thing. Think about if you assign feelings and emotion to your business, but then you assign feelings and emotions to your family. That seems like an obvious, but a lot of times that doesn't happen because you're just going through the motions in your household. I love what Chad said. My wife is my biggest investment. Absolutely wholeheartedly believe that. Your spouse, your significant other is the greatest investment that you have because you're going to spend the entirety of your life with them. Make the time, date them. Even after you're married, continue to date them. We talk about that all the time. Date your spouse. Why? Because it pays huge dividends if we're talking about investments. And dividends are amazing, especially when they're large. And there's no bigger one than investing it into your family. Then we finish up with Les Brown. Don't get much better of a closing conversation than a conversation with Les Brown. OQP, only quality people. Guys, consistently look to bring quality people into your life. And if you don't have the surrounding that gives you the ability to get that quality people around you, continue to jump on these Zooms, these trainings, because we will bring that quality of person to you so that you can grow and expand beyond your current area and situation. Someone's opinion about you doesn't have to be your life. Your surroundings, your area doesn't have to be your life. That was words spoken over Les Brown by a teacher that wasn't even his teacher. I love that example. He walks into the room looking for his friend, and the teacher says, solve that on the board. And he looks at him and says, hey, I'm not one of your students. He goes, doesn't matter, solve it anyways. Guys, that's huge. You can do things that you don't even know you're capable of when you have other quality people around you encouraging you to do the impossible, because then the impossible becomes possible. You don't get in life what you want. You get out of life what you are. We talk about this all the time when We talk about going through and becoming a millionaire. If I could just snap my finger right now and make everybody a millionaire, it would be completely useless, because the person that you become on the way to becoming a millionaire, the struggles, the failures, the emotional hardships, the things that you have to do to go through life, you would miss out on. And we don't want to rob you of something like that. We want you to have all of the things that create the kind of character and the kind of person that you have to be to have that kind of a lifestyle, because it's not what you get, it's who you are. And the thing is when you get to that point, and if it all goes away, you still have the foundations inside of you to go do it again, because you now have the knowledge, and you know that, like Chad says, in your knower, that you can do it. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to lift you up. We're here to help you. We're here to encourage you. We're here to tell you things that you may not hear outside of here. You get hungry when you know your uniqueness. We are born unique. We want you to become that uniqueness. God put one of you into human history at this specific time for a specific reason. We want to help you find out what that is, so that you can go out and use that talent and use that skill to go out and change other people's lives. Because if it's just for you, it's not as good as if it's for other people. Guys, thanks for coming on today. We continue to look for things to help add value to you, to help serve you. We want to see you become the best version of you, so you can go out and change the world around you. Guys, go out and make it an amazing day. We'll see you here again next time.